1897 in the Chicago World's Fair. She was part of the agricultural display from Indiana. Come on in so everybody can get in. Go up front. This is the prayer room. And we have the Bible up there, but we also have the Quran, and I don't know what other books of faith.
Can I have a prayer here?
Pardon?
Can we have a prayer here?
Oh, absolutely.
1 second, we can close the door. This is part of you. The last one, you mean here in the United States, governor of the plants of Tonasi. Now, some tools, some tools for the 10 plants until every day to the Sena, that in the hunter. And Mark and India. And I'm so glad I'm the official and told like, yeah, promise me. Yes. I can't tell you what's left. What about the 10 can you call them like last year? I thought they are true. In India, na state governor official, the teachers and home not there and they will consume. And Mother Zoom to let or listen to. We talk at the knee and go resuming of the or clinical India governor official. That was some type. Don't be the master of a tell me not to still around the Tabantum to bet on and peril consume. And for the politics will not let you in Zuri, cannot land, is what we look up and kill Flimona. In Tampika, Rampupi, they can be young to go to Tapas, the Ramot, this are so many moments in Suma. It didn't sound for a man, Louis or Napi, is what we look up carefully. To Tale, to Talama, Rampi, and deal with tourist and Ramotia. He in Mutrimo, he considered up until I'm criminal talents of the parliament. Amen.
Let me turn this light off. Let me turn this light off. There we go. Now I'll sneak in here with you. Now we'll go down the stairs and walk down to this
every other.
Kan ada bit lah. Lần đập phịch vào cái gì ta nhận đó. Lại gần gì mà nó suốt mình thấy cái gì là phải là vì đọc thì mình mới phải đi muốn học đấy. Không, I'm sorry, I didn't know that, man. You did.
Forgive me.
Ê, không.
Why don't all of you sit over here so I can look at you all? Sit on this side. Becca, you can sit here. Want to sit here?
I do.
In the comfortable chairs? Okay. So this is the Supreme Court for the state of Indiana. No case can leave Indiana and go to the U.S. Supreme Court unless it falls into their jurisdiction. They have about 3 or 4 jurisdictions. I know if you have a civil rights case, you can go into the U.S. Supreme Court. If you have an interstate commerce, that's another jurisdiction of the United States Supreme Court. But otherwise, this is the last court of appeals. And you have a couple of attorneys sit over here, a couple of attorneys sit over there. One from each side will get up to this podium, and they will speak to these 5 justices and tell their side of the issue. This group of attorneys wants that decision to change in some way that was made in the earlier, the lower courts. And that set of attorneys wants that decision to remain the same. And when they've spoken their time allotted, which is usually a half hour for each side, then the justices will retire to their offices, or back there, there's a conference room, and they'll talk about the case. And they'll take their time at making a decision. It could take a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Sometimes it's life and death issues. And then they come down with a majority opinion. We have 5 justices, so 3 have to agree in order to make a decision. And it is called a majority opinion. And it comes down in a written form. And so that's what happens in our courtrooms in this building. The way we select our judges, you see, this is the current set of justices. But there's one name missing and one picture missing. We have a new woman coming on the court. Her name is Loretta Rush. She's the 2nd in the history of the state. There's the 1st, right over there. And she was also our first African American. Her name was Myra Selby. So we're now going to have 4 men and a woman on our Supreme Court. All the rest of these faces are our other justices who have served the state over the years since 1816. Actually 1817, because it took them a year to get it together. Now, these types of windows are in the House and the Senate, but we can't see them anymore. Only from the offices that were created in the 1940s, late 1940s. But pretty much this room looks like it looked in 1888. They're still using the same furniture they did back then. The chandelier and sconces have candles on them. At one time, fire came out of those candles. Because in the 1880s, lighting was in transition. The White House, we have one president from Indiana who came from Indiana. His name was Benjamin Harrison. And he was in the White House in 1888 when they were electrifying the White House. And they were so afraid of electricity, they wouldn't turn the lights on. Somebody, a servant, would have to turn it on for them. But this building, they didn't have enough money to buy a power plant to turn the electric lights on. So all the chandeliers were half gas jet candles and half electric for about 10 years until they got that power plant. The carpeting and the curtains are replications of the originals. The difference being the original carpet only cost $400, this one cost $37,000. Quite a difference. They had to go to England to buy it. There's the old carpet right there on that footrest there. So do you have any questions?
Have they ever placed the Ten Commandments over here?
They have tried to place the Ten Commandments on the grounds, and they were ordered by the Supreme Court to move them.
Okay.
Or they had to move them onto private property. But in Texas, they were successful.
Okay.
Because it is put in the context of history. So that as long as you have a historical display, you can do it.
Not on
But it
religious
can't be
grounds.
strictly religious,
Okay, right.
because we are a multi-religious country. So that's the way that
Got
goes.
any question?
Any questions?
All right, then let's move on.
Okay.
We'll get a picture in the downstairs.